YouTube? So coming back today with my next NBA draft big board, and yesterday I did my point guard, so today I'm going to be doing my shooting guards. And I believe this shooting guard class is a little bit deeper than the point guard class, but go ahead and start with my number 10 shooting guard, and I've got the 6'5" Kansas product, and that is Wayne Selden. So Selden's been putting together a pretty good year, consistent year for really the first time in his career. This guy's had pretty high ceiling his entire time at Kansas, just really never fulfilled it. And with Kansas going strong right now, Selden's been looking good. He's got a good shooting touch. He can drive. He's very strong. I have him projected as an early second-round pick. Might be able to slide into the first round, but I think that's probably where he's going to stay. So in number 9, I've got the 6'4" Arizona product, and that is Alonzo Trier. Trier is currently a freshman. I think he will end up declaring for the draft. This is a guy that has, to me, a very high ceiling. He has been putting up a decent season at Arizona. It's been a up and down year for Arizona. He's got a good shot. He can pull up from distance. And again, I think this is a guy that has a high ceiling in the NBA. Alright, so my number 8 shooting guard, I have the 6'5" Florida State shooting guard, and that is Malik Beasley. So Malik Beasley will be a first-round pick to me. Oh, Alonzo Trier will be a late first-round pick. But yes, Malik Beasley is a guy that wingspan doesn't measure up huge. Like I said, he's about 6'5", about a 6'6" wingspan. He's an athletic guy, can run in transition. I think his draft stock's dropped a little bit. Florida State had potential to do big things this year, and they might be a tournament team. But I think the spotlight's more turned to Dwayne Bacon than it has on Malik Beasley. So at number 7, I've got the 6'6" Michigan State product. That is Denzel Valentine. So there's one time where Denzel Valentine was considered, I wouldn't say a lock for Player of the Year, but was definitely first in that running. He's got a good wingspan at about 6'10", and this is a guy that has extremely high basketball IQ, has an extremely high work ethic. He can drive. He can also shoot. And as you can see this year, he can carry a team. His draft stock has risen dramatically this year. Obviously, with having the big year, I don't know if he would have been considered a first-round pick last year, but I have him projected as a late first-round pick. Actually, in my last mock draft, though, I did not have him going in the first round. So at number 6, I've got the 6'7" Florida State product, Dwayne Bacon. So Dwayne Bacon, to me, is one of the more athletic shooting guards in the draft, might be actually the most. He is actually a football quarterback as well. He's extremely good on the offensive end of the floor. I think he's got one of the highest ceilings of any player in this draft. Now, he's not NBA ready at all in my mind. I think that he could use another year in college, but he will probably end up declaring after this year. Like I said, he can drive. He will, if he's on his game, I think he's able to get to the line. He's got a decent mid-range jump shot. He's not extremely good from distance, though. Okay, I take that back a little bit. He is good from distance, but it's a little bit inconsistent. I think that he needs to... I do think he needs to spend another year in college, but like I said, he'll probably end up declaring this year. I'm projected as a late first-round pick, but this could actually end up being one of the better... This is one of the high-risk, high-reward picks in the draft for sure. So at number 5, I've got the 6'5" Duke product, Grayson Allen. So obviously Allen's been huge for Duke this year. Ran into a little bit of trouble recently with tripping people, and I think that Allen is definitely one of the better shooters in this draft. He is a guy, to me, that will be a mid to late first-round pick. I think he is still a little bit of a contender for the Naismith Award. He is as NBA ready to me as any player on this list, maybe besides Buddy Hield and Denzel Valentine. He's decently athletic, and like I said, his intangibles, really up until the tripping thing, and his jump shot really do make him stand out in this shooting guard class. So at number 4, I've got the 6'7" Michigan product, who has spent quite a bit of his career injured, and that is Caris LeVert. So LeVert, again, I believe has a really high ceiling in the NBA. He's pretty good all over the board. When you're talking about skills translating to the NBA, he's got a good jump shot. He's a very good scorer. Defense would probably be his weak spot, but he is quick. He's a guy that I think has a very NBA-ready game. Injuries, like I said, are the biggest thing that are standing in his way right now. I have him projected as a mid to late first-round pick. So in number 3, I've got the 6'7" product, I believe, out of Turkey, and that is Furkan Korkmaz. So, yes, out of Turkey. This is a guy that I think has big potential in the NBA. I think he'll end up going as a lottery pick, and so probably top 14. Definitely one of the top 3 shooting guards in this class to me. He's got a good jump shot. I think that his shot from range could use a little bit more developing. He is still young. I believe he is still 19 years old, 18 or 19. And I think with maybe another year overseas, he will be an extremely good player to come back and compete in the NBA. So in number 2, I've got a guy that I've been really high on the entire year. It's a 6'7" kid out of California, and that is Jaylen Brown. So Jaylen Brown to me is going to be a top 10 pick. Might be the most athletic shooting guard in this class. He's a guy that just needs to get his game a little bit more consistent. He is one of the most explosive scorers in this draft. His long-range shooting has been probably his biggest inconsistency this year. His defense needs to get a little bit more consistent as well. At the 2 spot, though, I think he can guard really anyone in the NBA with his level of athleticism and just his overall size. So at number 1, I have the 6'4" OU product, obviously Buddy Hield. So Buddy Hield, probably the leading contender for the Naismith Award right now. He's had an extremely good year. Probably the best shooter in this class. He's improved his game so much over his 4 years at OU. He's been having an extremely good season, and I don't know, I think his game will translate well to the NBA. Really, the biggest thing against him, or the biggest knock against him, is his defensive ability, kind of ball watching a little bit. He might not be the best matchups against some of the bigger players at the 2 position. Just because his length and quickness might not be up to par with what you would think out of a top 5 shooting guard pick. But I do still think he'll be a top 5 pick. He's got one of the most polished games in this draft. He's got one of the best overall offensive games in this draft as well. He's been almost unguardable this year in college basketball. So that concludes my shooting guard rankings for my NBA Draft Big Board. If you have not seen my video yesterday of my point guard rankings, go check that out. I'll put the link to the entire playlist in the description below. The video will also probably be in the outro as well. So that's pretty much it. Top 10 in a few days. I've been working a little bit more on a couple other YouTube projects that you guys will be seeing soon. And yeah, ones that I'm pretty excited about. But today I wanted to do a top 10 that is top 10 NBA free agents for 2016. I did a video a few days, or actually might have been about a week ago.